Full Employment and Price Stability by Warren Mosler. Unemployment. Unemployment is defined as idle labor offered for sale with no buyers at that price. It will occur when the private sector, in aggregate, desires to work and earn the monetary unit of account, but doesn't desire to spend all it would earn if fully employed. Post-Keynesian monetary theory reveals the essence of involuntary unemployment. Its term, radical endogeneity, asserts all deposits are the accounting records of loans, and deposit money exists only in conjunction with outstanding bank loans. If, therefore, in the private sector, one agent wishes to increase his holdings of net financial assets, HNFA, this desire can only be satisfied by the reduction of another agent's holdings of net financial assets. An agent's net financial assets are reduced whenever either the agent increases its outstanding debt or reduces its stock of financial assets. Net financial assets are increased by paying down debt or by increasing the current stock. In the absence of financial intervention by the government, if one agent desires employment in order to increase his holdings of financial assets, another must decide to reduce his net financial assets for a transaction to take place. If no agent is willing to reduce his net financial assets, the desired sale of labor does not occur. This is defined as involuntary unemployment. The national accounting double-entry bookkeeping system is always in balance. Entries on one side of the ledger must be accounted for with offsetting entries on the other. Investment, for example, is accounted for as savings in national income accounting, so by definition, total investment will always equal total savings. Government deficit spending is classified as government dissaving, and the offsetting accounting entry is an increase in net private sector nominal savings. Thus, whenever the government engages in deficit spending, aggregate private sector holdings of net financial assets is increased, with holdings of net financial assets including offshore holdings of dollar-denominated assets. Furthermore, the level of government deficit spending determines private sector holdings of net financial assets. Should the private sector desire to increase its holdings of net financial assets, this desire can be satisfied only by an increase in government deficit spending. Unemployment can therefore be summarized as follows. Involuntary unemployment is evidence that the desired holdings of net financial assets of the private sector exceeds the actual holdings of net financial assets allowed by government fiscal policy. To be blunt, involuntary unemployment exists because the federal budget deficit is too small. Furthermore, if an agent wants to sell any real goods and thereby increase his holdings of net financial assets, this too can only be accommodated by another agent decreasing his holdings of net financial assets. If the desired holdings of net financial assets is greater than the actual holding of net financial assets, the evidence is involuntary inventory accumulation and contractionary bias.